Ladies and gentlemen, we are here for the purpose of celebrating the 4th of July. 84 years ago today, this nation had its birth. We stand today a governmental prodigy, surpassing in our extraordinary growth any other states of ancient and modern times. But nations who seek success amid the possibilities of the future are not measured by the accumulation of wealth or the breadth of territorial domain. For down underneath the glittering splendor which the jeweled hand of Croesus has lifted to intoxicate the gaze of the unthinking multitude, there will be found a silent and resistless influence working its way beneath the surface of society and shaping the destiny of men. When John Adams wrote that this would always be a day of bonfires and rejoicing, he did not foresee the evils which half a country would bring. When his own son, standing in his place amid the legislators of the Republic, would shame posterity into a brave indifference to its empty ceremonies, John Quincy Adams said 20 years ago that the preservation and propagation and perpetuation of slavery is the vital animating spirit of the national government. And this truth is no less apparent today. Every spirit of every department of our national life, the President's chair, the Senate of the United States, the Supreme Court, is occupied and controlled by the dark spirit of American slavery. Take Abraham Lincoln. I know Abraham Lincoln. I know something about his anti-slavery. I know the Republicans do not like this kind of talk, because while they are willing to steal our thunder, they are unwilling to submit to the conditions imposed by that party that assumes to be anti-slavery. They say that they cannot go as fast as you anti-slavery men would like to go in this matter, that they cannot afford to be uncompromisingly honest or so radical as you. They want to do the work gradually. They say, we must not be in too great of a hurry to overthrow slavery. At least we must take half a loaf. We cannot get the whole. Now, my friends, I believe that the very best way to overthrow slavery in this country is to occupy the highest anti-slavery grounds possible. I do not believe in the anti-slavery of Abraham Lincoln, because he is on the side of the slave power of which I am speaking, that has possession of the federal government. Not only would I arraign Mr. Lincoln for his pro-slavery character and principles, but when he was a member in the House of Representatives in 1849 on the 10th day of January, he went through the District of Columbia and consulted with prominent pro-slavery men and slave owners of the district, and then went into the House of Representatives and introduced on his own responsibility a fugitive slave law for the District of Columbia. I am a colored man. I am an American citizen. And I think that I am entitled to exercise the elective franchise. I am about 28 years old, and I would like very much to vote. I think I am old enough to vote, and I think that if I had a vote to give, I would know enough to place it on the side of freedom. No party, it seems to me, is entitled to the sympathy of anti-slavery men unless that party is willing to extend to the black man all rights of a citizen. I care nothing about that anti-slavery that wants to make the territories free, while it is unwilling to extend to me as a man in the free states all the rights of a man. Men of my complexion are not allowed to testify in the courts of justice where a white man is a party. If a white man happens to owe me anything, unless I can prove with a white man's testimony, I cannot collect on that debt. in the state of Illinois, they tax the colored people for every conceivable purpose. They tax the Negro's property to support schools for the education of the white man's children, but the colored people are not allowed to benefit from this taxation. We are compelled to impose upon ourselves additional taxes just to educate our children. And if we put our children in these schools, Abraham Lincoln would kick them out in the name of republicanism and anti-slavery. Now, there is a good deal of talk in this country about the superiority of the white race. We often hear, even from this very platform, the praise of the Saxon race. Now, I want to put this question to those who deny the equal manhood of the Negro. What peculiar trait or character does the white man possess as a mark of superiority in moral or mental that is not also manifested by the black man under similar circumstances? You may take down the white and black parts of social and political structure stone by stone, and you will find the Negro equal to the white man in all elements, head and heart. Of course, no one pretends that all men are mentally equal or morally equal, any more than we do that all men are the same weight or equal in the same physical endowments. Here in this country, under the most favorable circumstances, we have idiots and fools, some in the lunatic asylum and others in high places in government, who essay to be statesmen who ought to be there. But no colored man can feel any of this inspiration. We are denied all participation in the government. We remember that the flag only covers us as slaves, and our liberties are only respected and our rights only secured to us when escaping from the beak of the American eagle and when we can nestle in the shaggy mane of the British lion. And feeling this, we can feel no inspiration when we look at the American flag. Now, I do not believe that the Negro is inferior. You may take all of these races that has risen up from the lowest estate of degradation to the highest elements of intellectual and moral splendor, and you will discover that no race has ever been yet able, by any eternal power and will of its own, to lift itself up into respectability without any contact of other civilized tribes. Friends, I have no idea that those men who talk about the inferiority of the Negro race really believe it. They think that it is absolutely necessary for the success of their party to cater to the dark spirit of slavery. But after all, I say that the Negro is a man and has all the elements of manhood like any other man. And by the way, I think that in this country, he has the highest elements of manhood. But my friends, I must bring my remarks to a close. And I say that in view of the fact that the influence of slavery is dominant in every part of the government, I would rather curse than bless the hour that marked the fatal epoch of American history when we threw off the yoke of a decent despotism to become in turn the slaves of a mean and arrogant democracy. Proclaim liberty throughout the land to all the inhabitants thereof. That is the inscription upon the bell that hangs in Independence Hall in Philadelphia. But the old bell, more modest than the people, cracked the first time it was rung, because it did not have brass enough to tell that lie again.